afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Citadel Credit Union's inaugural run of the Open for Business podcast. We're lucky today to have a fantastic guest in Tom Scogna from Good Life Organic Kitchen. We're going to spend some time today learning all about his business, the trials and tribulations that he went through with his family on how to get started and grow his business. And we're going to take an opportunity to dive in right now. How's it going, Tom?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for having me.
I had the great opportunity to come in and visit you. We were out with a bunch of our relationship managers, just canvassing the community, spending time introducing Citadel Credit Union, and really getting to meet members of the business community. Mm-hmm. And we ran into Good Life, and I ran into you.
Yeah.
And I had a quick opportunity to learn a little bit about you. I mean, on a funny view, I think we kind of may have had a podcast right there at the register.
Yeah.
And I got to learn a little bit about your business and was absolutely fascinated by it. So as we meet today, I think it's a really important part of the day for us to learn a lot about you and the Good Life journey.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. So tell me a little bit about what drove you to start up Good Life Organic Kitchen.
So I was approached in 2020 by a good friend and a gentleman that we both knew who was older than us. It was actually had coached us in college hockey for a quick stint, and he said, we have kind of a business opportunity, and this is what we're looking to do, and I want to know if you're interested. And I was already in the family business, and I said, well, we'll talk. So we sat down, we talked, and everything seemed, pretty legit, and it pretty much came about that my best friend had a little bout of skin cancer, and when he went to go see the doctor, he said, if you just look at the things you eat and all that, you could probably help with certain, things in fighting off cancers and things like that. So he got into superfoods and whole foods and all that. So he made this little cafe up in his corporate building. He's a financial advisor. It's a really nice practice. And he had this little cafe there, and that's where it started. So he said, well, we kind of want to make this more, and there's nothing like this in Chester County. So what would you think about kind of starting it for us down there? So we talked, and I said yes. And I had a long talk with my wife. She is my best friend, and we talked everything through, and she was going to be on board with it as well. And she was actually going to run it, and we were going to have a staff built all around it. And again, everything that we saw on paper looked great. And I actually was not going to leave the family business. I was going to maybe help out here and there, but she was going to kind of steamroll the whole thing. So we signed agreements, and then we started to go through the process of getting the bank loans, and COVID hit.
Yeah, so I can remember standing there at the register and talking to you about the food. I think it was the Southwest Bowl that interested me.
Uh-huh.
And I asked you how long you were in business, and I believe it was March 2020, right?
It was.
All right, so tell me a little bit about that.
So the world is just about ready to shut down. I'm going through getting the rest of my bank loans, hopefully to build this business and get it right and get it going with the amount of funds we need for the equipment and the build out. I remember one of the last bank loans that I was waiting on was a significant amount of money, and I got the rejection letter. They weren't going to give me any more money. And I called up and I pleaded with her. I said, I need this money. I'm a small business. It was going to be a franchise concept at the time, but I'm still going to run it like a small business, and I need this money. Please, what do you need? What type of collateral and all that. And after talking with her for a few extra minutes, she said, I'll try to put it back through and see what we can do. And it went through.
Wow.
Yeah. And, it helped for sure. So that happened, and then the build out started, but it was just a crazy time. You could only go in certain times to see how the build out was going. And, there was a time where they were starting to build things out, and I wasn't allowed to go in and see it till after stuff was up. It made things so complicated to be able to know how we wanted our new cafe to look and what we wanted to look like. So that was a struggle, just getting through that whole process.
When you think about Good Life Organic Kitchen, what separates you from your average foodery, eatery, bistro?
First of all, we are 100% organic, and we don't cheap out on anything. And that's our choice, and that makes our margins razor thin. And had we decided to go with the regular run-of-the-mill type of food and products, I'm sure I would have many of these open by now, and I'd probably be in a much different position. But we stood by the premise of being an organic concept 100% and sticking with quality, local farms, local produce, whatever we can get. And we stood by it. That's what sets us apart, is the fact that we are 100% organic. We are in our own market. I can be fact checked on it, but I do not know if there's another 100% organic place that can even compete with us. We, work on our product and our customer service and the knowledge that we do have, and we put all that together and we put out the good life.
When I think about talking to small business owners or business owners in general, and I think about was there a moment of truth where you almost gave in during COVID?
No, we were too far in at that point to give in. We had to fight through COVID, and we did. And we'd opened in February of 2021, and that summer, we all got it. My little girl got it. I had to do the right thing. I had to shut down. I did not feel right to keep doors open.
How long were you closed?
We were closed probably 2.5 weeks. It was absolutely crushing because we were new. We were a niche concept, a new concept. The Eagle View community are amazing people.
It really is.
But we were still a new concept. People didn't fully understand what organic was. That's why we like to educate people. But that was crushing for us. That almost sank the business.
What kept you going?
I'm stubborn. I
don't know quit?
I don't want to fail. I don't want to quit. I don't want to retreat. I know it holds water, and I know it's real, and I believe in it. I don't believe it's going to fail. And we knew that, sure, you could file for bankruptcy. You can let something sink. That people do it all the time. My wife and I are very similar in that respect. And we said, no, we have to push through. We have to make this happen. Plus, we knew the quality of food that it was helping people with. And we knew that in a time of so much sickness, that serving this type of food would help people. We didn't want to give up. And we didn't. And probably around December, Christmas time of that year, we started to see an uptick.
Oh, was that long?
Oh, yeah. It was rough. It was really rough. It was probably 2.5 to 3 months of just, holy crap, I can't believe we're this slow. And then, I would just say starting January of that new year, we saw a major uptick in business.
There's a little bit of construction going on over in Restaurant Row in Eagle View, right?
Yep.
So, and you've got a new entrance. By the way, I think this is your world famous smoothie, right?
That is our Berry Nutty smoothie. That is our most popular. If anybody ever wants to have a smoothie competition, that'd be the one I'd put in the competition for sure.
Ooh, what is in this?
That is blueberries, strawberries, and banana fruits. We use a really, really creamy peanut butter.
There's a peanut butter in there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of maple syrup as a natural sugar, and a bone broth protein, which gives you all types of good quality benefits.
I messed myself.
Yeah, it's all right. It's good. It's a Berry
So
Nutty.
bone broth protein added in there.
Yep. So it's a protein smoothie. It's absolutely delicious, and I sell a ton of them. That is hands down our largest. We've sold the most of those out of any of our smoothies.
I'm trying to find the right adjective, but it's a little bit more than delicious.
Yeah, thank you. It is very nice.
Back to Whole Foods.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a Whole Foods coming in town, and I remember asking you, "My God, after everything you've been through, how is that going to affect you?"
Yeah. So Kimberton Whole Foods is a staple in the area. They have many
now, for
locations.
The customers here, they're not just moving in the vicinity.
Right.
It's virtually in your parking lot, a football punt away.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're right there, and they're big. I mean, they are a well-run business. Terry has created quite the empire there. They have a really, really nice following. I also patron them, and I see my customers all the time. I'll be leaving my place to go home and pick up some stuff for dinner, and I probably see 2 or 3 of my customers I saw earlier that day in my spot. So they run a great business. They're a Whole Foods grocery store. them coming in is going to draw a lot more traction in that area, an already busy town center. We're going to see how we can try to work together and do some things and collaborate because we are like-minded in a lot of different ways. So it's going to be interesting, but it draws in a lot of people. They're expecting a lot of people to come there on a daily basis. So I would like to hope that it's good for us. And if my conversations with Terry and Ezra can work out and we can put some of our stuff on their shelves and all that to brand us and get our name out there, then that's good for us and it's exposure. Because as a small business, it's hard to brand yourself if you're only in one solid location and you can't get out to all the other places. Hopefully working with those guys can be beneficial for us. And again, we are like-minded. So, we're in the right wheelhouse.
I love your mentality because it's, you could see it as, the evil empire moving in, or you could see it as an opportunity to tag along towards the strategy that you're trying to deliver,
right,
and actually ride the wave.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how that rolls.
Yeah, me too.
What's it like being a small business owner?
It's hard. It's really hard.
That was a quick hard.
Yeah, it is hard. I mean, we've been down a long road in a bunch of different ways with COVID, with how the franchise concept was supposed to be and was not at all what it was supposed to be, and how we were pretty much on our own from the start of that. It's hard. There's so much gratitude in having your own business and being able to put out a great product for people and just seeing people go, this is actually really good. Thank you so much for doing this. And the amount of times I get people who go, thank you for being here. This is incredible. We thoroughly enjoyed our experience and the food. We will be back.
You're part of that experience.
Thank you. Yeah. You have to be, as a small business owner. I think you have to be. You have to do that. It's my second home. So I'm going to welcome you into my house and I'm going to treat you like you're one of my guests at my house. I'm going to tell you to sit down, have a good seat. I'm going to give you a good meal. I'm going to ask you how things are and make sure. I have people who come in and I have people who they don't look great that day. You okay? And they just tell me that they're not having the best day. And well, hopefully we can cheer you up with this and we can brighten it up by having, some good superfoods and getting you out of that funk and all that. So you create this community around you and you create people who trust you. It's very rewarding to be able to do stuff like that. And in those dark times, in those really hard times, that is the light that makes you go, oh, I'm going to get up tomorrow and do the same thing again. I'm going to put a smile on my face and be happy for all my customers who walk through their front door.
Famous quote. If I knew then what I know now, what would you do different?
I would have done more research. I would have asked more questions. I would have not trusted certain people. One lesson I learned very quickly was no one cares about your business more than you do. They may say they do. They may act like they do. But if my business burned to the ground tomorrow, they'll just go somewhere else or they'll go do something different. They don't care. And I learned that really hard, really fast. I would just say, just make sure that you do your full due diligence in making sure you know what you're getting into and make sure you like what you're going to do. Be passionate about it. Because if you're not passionate about it, you're going to hate it. You're going to not want to get up and go to work that day. And there's plenty of days. I have 2 twin baby 6-month-olds at home. There are plenty of mornings I wake up and I'm exhausted, but I'm happy to go to work and do what I have to do. I would just say, make sure you check yourself, make sure you know, and make sure you yourself have yourself right to want to do it. Because if you don't, it's never going to work. And you see that everywhere. I mean, you see that in every profession. You see with professional athletes, mentally, if they're checked out, they're not playing well, right? It's the same thing. You got to make sure you're all there, you're all put together, and you know what you're doing if you want it to succeed. So, yeah, it was hard though. I learned a lot of hard lessons fast too. And I mean, getting smacked across the head multiple times. It's been a wild journey so far, but we're here and we're growing and I want to grow. And I get asked all the time, you want to grow this? Do you want to franchise it? I don't know. I know what franchising's like. It can be good. This concept, it can be really hard because somewhere along the line, you have to start to cut something.
Right.
So do I want to try to create a restaurant group? Do I just want to get someone interested to bring capital in so I can open up more in the county and grow it organically, no pun intended, and just get more of them up and going? I don't know. But the potential's there. It is a niche market that you can pop up this area where we are right now would be amazing for one of my concepts. And it's cool because we carry a really cool app with it, and the website can use some help, but the app's really nice. It makes it easy for people, and people want easy, so we can try to make it easy. And then on top of that, we make a good product. And I just hope we can try to grow it. And I would like to start to work with the right people interested to do that.
So when you think about the success you've enjoyed, the trials and tribulations you've endured, the growth of your business, which virtually translates to the growth of your family, what's next for Good Life Organic Kitchen?
Expansion of some sort, I would like to hope. More locations open. I actually have some opportunities with a couple bigger entities. I would like to spread the good life and get it out there to people. I know we do a great thing. I know we put good product out there that's actually genuinely healthy for people, and people need more good food in their life.
What message would you give to another small business owner who's getting started?
Just be genuine in what you do. Just work hard, put the time in. It's not going to come quick. I mean, you have to have some type of a crazy idea, and every once in a while you see some idea that pops and it's like, wow, why did I not think of that? But the average business owner, you're doing something that's been repeated over and over and over. You just have to do it the best you can and just be genuine about it.
So Tom, when you're thinking about your business, there's a million decisions every single day, but some of them do come down to dollars and cents. And what was the most pivotal financial decision that you made, and what was the impact to Good Life Organic Kitchen?
One thing Abby and I said was we need to be debt free. We need to just pay off our debts as fast as we can. We borrowed all this money to get this business started. We need to pay off those debts. So everything we had been making, we were literally dumping right into paying off the debts to be debt free. And that's huge. Secondly, there were many financial decisions we had to make, especially in 2022, 2023, when inflation spiked. We saw a 50 to 80% increase in our products. The biggest financial decision we had to make there was, do we raise our menu prices and sticker shock people? Or do we just put in a little bit of a bump and just start to cover some of the costs? Or, do we deviate from this? Do we not become organic? How do we do this to make sure that this doesn't crush us? Because 50 to 80% for a small business with the product that we serve is brutal. And the biggest financial decision we made there was, we're not going to sticker shock people. We're going to put on a tiny little service fee that we've put on. It's been on there since. It's 4%. It doesn't really do a lot for me. It might cover a couple of my employees' hourly wage for the day. That's it. I'm not going to raise my prices 50 to 80%. I'm going to raise them 4%. And that's the end of it.
It's a really resounding story that I think we were really lucky to get from you today.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to it.
Thanks for your time today.
Appreciate you.
All right, everybody. Get yourself over to the Eagle View Center. Go see Good Life Organic Kitchen. I promise you, try the berry smoothie. It's a great one. But go in for lunch. Go see good people, homegrown community business that's part of the fabric of Chester County. Thank you for joining us today at Citadel Credit Union's Open for Business podcast. Hey now.